What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Bass and Brews fishing podcast. It's your weekly distraction from high quality podcast. So here we are. We're here to have a good time. I hope y'all are. Today I got with me my guest co-host, Mr. Woo-Doo, Cody Lachwood Fishing. What's up, Cody?
What's up, Mr. Heels? Mr. Heels?
Man, I'm rolling along. Our guest tonight is Mr. Josh Meyers from Abide Fishing on YouTube. What's up, Josh?
How you guys doing?
Good.
Man,
I gotta say, I was lured in here. I thought I had a chance of like meeting Cupcake. That was like the whole reason that I came
here. Look.
What a shocking surprise from that.
It is a shocking sense, I'll tell you that.
Well, we got the closest thing to Cupcake that we could find in Lachwood.
Josh is going, I feel a little sick, boys.
I mean, he does have some long flowing locks.
Hey, bakers can't be choosers.
That's awesome. Coley's gonna love that too. I know she's gonna be listening to this, and by now she's gotten all red and she's doing this. I know it. Well, look, man, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. You know, we'll get into this some more, but you and I kind of grew up in the same area and not far from each other. And glad to have you. So introduce yourself real quick.
My name is Josh Meyers. I do Abide Fishing, which is kind of the redheaded stepchild of the YouTube fishing world. It's like there's a lot of guys that are out there and they're really good and they have a lot to offer. I just goof off. That's basically my show. It's travel around. I show you different places that you can fish in North and South Carolina, and then just goof off and have fun while we're doing it.
Nice. Well, we're going to dive into some of the goofiness and all that stuff that you got going on because it's a damn good time. All right, so fellas, what y'all got to drink tonight? What we cracking open? Josh, what you got?
I don't know. It's a little bit. I went really rogue on this. I don't know if you've heard of it. Miller Lite. That's yeah.
Is that a local beer?
It's local to my area. Yeah. If you want, I can send you a case.
Okay. Is it a microbrewery?
Well, it's a micro can.
Cody, what you sip? What kind of caffeine you sipping on, Holly?
Iced tea, as usual.
Is it got sugar in it?
Got sugar in it. Sweetened iced tea.
It's sweet tea. It ain't iced tea.
Sweet tea. Excuse me. Sorry.
Well, there we go. See, you close enough to the South that we got to start learning you something. All right, I'm trying to lose weight, y'all. So I got another White Claw surge. I'm down 8 pounds.
Good for you, man.
I guess
Good
these are helping. Yep, I got 50 more to go. So
you got somewhere.
I know. I like to get as fat as I can, so then I can feel good about I can say I lost a bunch of weight.
We used to have weight loss competitions like at work. That was one of the things that we did. But we would always our first weigh-in was at a Chinese buffet. And so we would literally because we were trying to like pack on as much as we could at the buffet before we went to weight loss mode.
Did you used to wear that big ass coat that the guy stole from you on the lake?
Let me tell you, my heart was broken when that guy stole my jacket because
we're gonna talk about that. Let's crack these beers open.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, well, 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Salute. All right, man. So Josh, I ran across your channel searching for kayak bass fishing in North Carolina. And your channel popped up. I bit the damn look and I forgot when I subscribed. But I think you had like somewhere around 300 or 400 subscribers at the time. So you'd been going at it a little while, but you weren't where you are now. So tell us the story of you go into a little bit of the story of how you got to fishing. but tell us the story of why you started that channel, because for this podcast, we talk to content creators, tournament anglers, regular old fishing people, right? And so the hardest part for people to start in content creation is starting. And you jumped into this, and it was a damn shit show from the beginning. So, like, tell us this process to why you just want to start recording it and letting everybody see.
Okay, well, I'll give you a little bit of background. Like, when I was a kid, I would go fishing a lot. I mean, there's a little pond by my house, and that's what I would do. I just walk down to the pond and fish, and I really enjoyed it. However, as you get older and, hormones kick in, as soon as I found girls, like, the fishing went out the window. So I lost, like, interest in fishing basically until after college. And so I didn't fish at all during that time. And I
What
jumped.
college?
I went to Winthrop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Eagles.
Yeah, big stuff. So I started. I went and bought a bass boat just like on a whim, but it was a fixer upper. I knew it was going to be a fixer upper. However, it was like, I just called it the Black Pearl because the thing was cursed. It didn't matter. I could get it running perfectly on land, but then as soon as it hit water, it just broke down, like, every single time. I spent more time fixing the boat than I ever did fishing on the boat. And so I was like, this is just not for me. I ended up giving that boat away just because I was just tired of looking at it. And so I went for a couple more years, didn't do any fishing. And then I was like, you know what? I saw, the kayak community start up. And I was like, that's something I can get behind. And so that's when I bought the kayak and started kayak fishing. As far as the actual YouTube channel, the whole reason I got into it is I started kayak fishing the places that I knew, like which Lake Wiley, Nivens Creek, basically all the big bodies of water. And I would go out on Nivens Creek, but I would go out there like in the summer, and there's a point that's really, really narrow. And I had just a flat out near death experience where some pleasure boater came around the corner, about hit me. Even if he didn't hit me, I about ate it, just being in the boat. And I was like, you know what? This is not for me. Like, coming out on these heavily trafficked bodies of water during the summer, it's not for me, and it's not for somebody that's in a kayak. So I started looking for information. Where can I put in a kayak? Just on the internet. And I found that there's like not really any good information about. You would think in the age of the internet that there would be people that do this kind of stuff all the time. And there just wasn't. You could go to like South Carolina DNR's website, and they have like a list of ponds that you could put in a kayak in, but there's no address. There's one little picture that is 15 years old. So you never know what to expect when you get there. So the reason I started my channel is I want my channel to be a one-stop shop for, if you want to find a place to fish, a public place to fish in North and South Carolina, you go there and you can find how to get there, like a valid address, what the boat ramp looks like, and then what the fishing is like when you get there. So that was the whole reason I got into it. I was like, hey, I'll just document me trying to find out all these different places. And I started creating the content that I was looking for.
What is abide fishing? You've got a whole video on what abide fishing is.
Yes.
Like the name and what is abide fishing?
Abide fishing, basically, I just wanted a cool name, and abide is from The Big Lebowski, and that's from the Big Lebowski. There's a refrain that comes up in the movie all the time: the dude abides. And so I just stole that, abide fishing. And then it starts with an A, so if people are searching for it, it's like it's at the begining. So alphabetically.
So you got a little bit of smart up in there from Winthrop, huh?
So.
And how long had you been in the kayak before you started recording and posting the videos?
It was probably only a month or two.
Okay.
Literally, I mean, it was very early in the process when I started posting the videos, and
that's pretty evident because it's a shit show.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a hilarious, and you embrace it too, and you talk about that embracing it, and it's hard to explain. You'd have to watch this without me sounding like a complete asshole.
No, I bring it on. Like I absolutely, I am.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah,
I am uncoordinated. I'm goofy. I'm all of those things. And like, here's another thing: is like most of the people that are on YouTube, they edit that stuff out. And I was like, every time something stupid happens to me, I'm like, you can usually see it in my face where I'm initially like, there's a little bit of a tear, and then I'm like, this is gold. I'm rolling with it. That's what I have to offer.
All right. How did the found bobber cam? Where the hell did that shit come from?
You know, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it was one of these things where, yeah, the found bobber cam is something that I do. Like anytime I find a bobber, I pull it and I just show it and I start collecting them. There was another guy, Travis does kayak fishing. I started doing the found bobber cam, and then he said, like, what do you do with all these bobbers? I was like, I don't know. I just put them in a coffee can. I don't really have anything to do. He's like, you should do that as like your 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So that was even my idea, but I stole it. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I gave away a coffee can of all the terrible bobbers that I had collected over the years. And I used that little Mario coin sound.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping to have won that.
Well, you were the only one.
I was hoping to have won that. So when did you started posting these? Did you do it to grow a fishing channel as education, or did you do it as a way to chronicle your adventures? You know, I know you said put it out there for everybody to see where they could fish and take a kayak, but you had to have a little bit something more personal for you, a goal to achieve with that. Where did you look like it was where did you want it to grow, or what do you want it to do?
I don't know. To this point, I don't know. I started making the content that I should have been out there that I just didn't see anywhere. So that was really like my initial start to it. When I was a kid, like I wanted to be like a game show host. And so I've always like had that, like, this is just a way for me to goof off and have fun. And I enjoy both the fishing aspect and I enjoy the editing aspect, which is a large part of content creation. People think that they can just throw a GoPro on and then it takes care of itself. And it's not. It is a ton of work to make something that's anybody would want to watch. And it's a ton of work to do that. And it's fortunate I enjoy both aspects of it. And in order to do this, you have to enjoy both sides of it. You can't enjoy one and not the other because there's just too much involved in that.
Yeah, so I got hours upon hours upon hours of video that has never seen the light of day outside of the GoPro app.
Yes,
because I want to sit down in front of that shit and watch it.
It is daunting to go through. I mean, the thing is, it's not like, you know, a lot of the times you see these YouTube content creators and they're not like fishing content, but it's like they sit in front of the mirror and they put makeup on, you know, and don't get me wrong, that's a fine, entertaining thing, but it's easy to do that because a makeup tutorial takes 15, 20 minutes to do. Whereas fishing, just by nature of it, it's 6-7 hours of video. That you didn't have to condense, and let's be real, not a lot happens in that 6 or 7 hours. So there's a lot of editing that involves in it. And it's when you just talk about, like, you know, the amount of the actual recording time versus what actually sees the screen, you're only seeing a fraction of what's going on. And it's a ton of work to get all that dead air out of there.
And so this is one of the reasons why fishing will never explode like, let's say, NASCAR, right? Because you've got NASCAR, which is a spectator sport and put under 50,000 people in the stands. You're going to have wrecks. You're going to have all this commotion. It's loud. It's crazy. You're drinking. Well, you ain't going to have, you know, 5 spectators out there. Now, kayaking could work is if, you know, if a guy is leading a tournament and he's fishing real good, and you get a bass boat to come out there and do donuts around him and knock him out of his fucking kayak. Now that would be funny ass stuff right there. People probably watch that, but yeah, I mean, the whole aspect of doing the video for fishing is boring as shit.
No, it is.
That's what it comes down to it. 7 hours of fishing, and you get a 15-minute video. If you actually caught a fish during that 7 hours.
Exactly. If you're lucky. I mean, that's a good day. You know, just the amount. I mean, the amount of work that it takes to get 15 minutes of footage is a lot. I mean, it is.
But I will say this for you though. You don't even have to catch fish to have a good video, because so you've gotten better, right? Like you don't have as much wacky, crazy ass shit happen as you did. But some of your earlier videos, man, have so much just like fun comedy. Your damn net falling off the boat, and you don't know it until you go to get it, and then you go back to the film and you put it in there, or getting tangled up, like you show all your shit getting tangled up. You're like, oh my god, those little things. That's real fishing there, especially out of a kayak. Golly, but I mean, you really, for most out of the videos, the people that I watch, there's a lot of them out there, but you embrace that what the fuck side of kayak fishing, of all the shit that other people, they're catching 6-pounders. They're not showing when they casted and their rod wrapped around the rod behind them and slung it out in the water, or they drop shit into, they go to cut their little tag off and they cut their spinner bait and chuck it out into water. I mean, but you show that, and that's what caught my attention. It was fun, man. I felt like it was real.
Well, it's definitely real. And something else that I've really consciously tried to do is I want everything that I do, every video that I make, I want it to be, replicable. I want anybody to be able to do that, because it kind of gets discouraging. Like when you watch some of these, these YouTube channels, and they have, they're fishing stocked farm ponds and catching these, giants. Every now and then I will luck into something, but again, I'm not into some secret spot. I'm not fishing with high dollar gear. I have like ugly sticks. I have my black maxes. I'm in a kayak, and I'm fishing all public places. I tell you where I'm going and what I'm fishing with. The whole point of my thing is you don't need good gear. You don't have to be that good to every now and then catch. The key is you got to actually be on the water, and that's the only way you're going to catch fish is being on the water and just doing it. And something that I wasn't expecting in doing this is I wasn't expecting all the kids. Like, there's a lot of kids that watch my channel, and I just wasn't really like considering it being in that demographic, but kids love it. And I was like, you know what? I don't want a kid. I was just thinking about like me when I was younger, thinking that, I'd have to get, all this, $400 or $500 gear in order to catch fish, when really you don't. You can go to Walmart and buy, a decent $60, $70 rod and reel combo. You can catch fish on that. You can catch fish on the Walmart Ozark Trail Lord. You can catch fish on everything. You just got to be out there doing it.
So one thing, I got two things. One, Cody, you a good looking, handsome fella. You really are. But I didn't bring you on this podcast to watch your big ugly ass scratch your back with a back scratcher and you not see nothing.
That was distracting. I'm going to level with you.
Are you muted? Why are you not talking? Yes, we see the back scratcher every time you make it onto a podcast or any kind of video. We see it. We can't hear it.
Muted. He's legitimately muted.
Yeah. Oh, he broke it. Log off and log back in because we can't hear you. There we go. I was wondering, he ain't ever that quiet. At least usually you hear him breathing.
Yeah.
The second thing is, if you got a lot of kids watching this, when you're talking about pulling some of this out to put it on your channel, you might want to put a disclaimer.
No, I will. This is adult beverages and adult content, so I will put that on there.
Can you hear me now?
We got you now. We got you now. So what's funny is last week I had on Drew and Chris from the Paddlers Playbook, and if y'all hadn't listened to that episode, it's a good time. But they put today they released their 2021 year in review thing, and the first segment was our shotgun round of the interview we'd done, and it was late and we were all having a good time. They put a disclaimer on the beginning of it, and then at the end they had to put another disclaimer. This is not work friendly. This is not, put headphones in. Kids under the age of 21 should not listen to this.
Y'all get the parental advisory on there.
Yeah, y'all are bad influences.
Well, hey man, our whole goal is to get out there, get people to go out there and fish. And when they miss a fish or lose a big fish, they should not be afraid to yell and scream and cuss and show their ass. You have that right when you lose a fish. It don't even got to be big.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, for me, like it surprises a lot of people. Like I'm actually an introvert. Like I don't, even though I have like this channel and I'm all goofy and stuff, I'm not shy, but I'm an introvert. And that's that's one of the things that, like, going out on the water and just spending 6 hours. Half the places that I go, I don't have any self-service out there. Just having that 6 hours of just peace and quiet where I can just relax, listen to my tunes. I mean, I work in construction, like, from a real job. And so it's loud, it's noisy, you're arguing with people all day long. And so that's what I do for 40 hours a week. And then when the weekend comes, I just need that 6 hours just to unwind and then the peace and quiet and not deal with anything. That's kind of like my reset is just getting out there and doing that. And it's amazing what just a little bit of quiet time without your phone will do for you.
What kind of construction work are you into, Josh?
I'm a building inspector. So
nice.
Cody, don't throw nothing. Don't throw the phone, Cody.
I'm a plumber by trade, 30 years. Master plumber.
So, you do residential or commercial, or what do you do?
Both started out residential, and then towards the end there, before I retired, like commercial, did some work Dover Air Force Base and some hotels, motels, Holiday Inns, kitchens, a lot of kitchens, commercial kitchens. So yeah, both.
I thought you were singing a song there. Hotels, motels, Holiday Inn.
That's right.
That's a good one there. Hell yeah, Josh. That's a good one there, boy. All right, so back to your YouTube channel, because you do some really cool stuff. Like you've got it segmented too, and I like that because you got the segments, and you've also got themed. Tell us about Tackle Roundup and how it started, and then the other part of that. And I don't care which way you answer it, but like, do you put the music to the, or do you just have it down pat so damn good that you have it? Like, is it like, tell me what's going on with that, because you never miss it.
It's
do it for us.
The tackle.
Do it for us. Do it for us.
I'll give you. I gotta explain what Tackle Roundup is, because I don't know if a lot of people here don't know what it is. Tackle Roundup is like the segment of my show where I actually show you what I'm using. And I don't know how I got the idea for it, but I was like, I want like a Western themed logo. And I actually, the girl that made that logo for me, I said, I want it to look like, you remember the 90s show on Nickelodeon, Hey Dude?
Yep.
Like, Hey Dude, with the big horseshoe. I was like, I want the logo to look like something like that. So she made me like this Western themed little Tackle Roundup, and that's what I do. I do, and now it's time for Roundup. And so that's how I enter. And there's a horse whinny in there, and there's a whip sound in there, but I don't have. I'm at the point now where it's already ingrained. I don't have to worry about syncing it up. I just know how it goes. And the cool part about the Tackle Roundup, I never thought that would be like a thing, but apparently, like, people really like it. And I actually have a video that I did where people can send in their own Tackle Roundups, and I've done that where I've had some other like content creators that, I'll throw it over to them, and they send me a video of them doing the Tackle Roundup. And I mean, it's a cool way that they can plug their channel, and it's a little informal collab situation, but yeah, it's just fun to do.
Cody, this is a professional podcast. Quit chewing your nails.
I don't chew my nails. I was picking my teeth with a toothpick.
Damn, Bo, that's even worse. Jeez, look, you can manicure your face later.
He's about 5 minutes away from pulling out the floss.
I was looking for it earlier, then I was like, I shouldn't floss while I'm on the podcast.
Oh, so let me take a toothpick and look, he ain't got no floss. He pulls one of them beer's hairs out and wraps it around his finger and uses his beer hair to do it. So we got the tackle roundup, we got the found bobber cam. Those are the segments. So tell us all right, let's run through the themes.
Okay.
Because you've got the themes and they're outlandish, which makes them even better.
Okay, as far as the themes, I do a segment of basically I call it "Your Wish Is on My List," and that's where I go.
Your wish is that you singing the song now?
That is me singing it. Yeah, I do all my own singing on all of these,
except the intro, which is badass.
When
intro,
Paul,
that's my buddy Skidmark Millhouse, and he does the intro to that, and that's no, he is a crucial element to this the show and that sound. And to this day, like people come up and like, hey, what's the deal with that Cooter Stew song? And I'm like, wow, look him up, man.
Because y'all fished a creek together, right?
We did. He met me down. Well, actually, yeah, he invited me to go down to. He's from Lockhart, South Carolina, initially. So we went down and waded the creek and fished down there. Tried to get some smallmouth. He did way better than I did, and that was the video also where I was like, I distinctly remember wading across the river and thinking, at some point I'm going to bust ass. It's just going to happen. And sure enough, on camera, bust ass, like straight in. But yeah, like the theme videos, the Wish, I do a segment where I'll buy like just a ton of crazy lures off wish.com and then try to make them work. And some of these things they're not meant to be catching fish. I mean, you'll look at them and they come straight from China, high lead content. I mean, they're just they're not good lures at all.
Radioactive.
Yeah.
So you're not biting the ends off of those plastics, you're cutting them with scissors.
I have bit them before and I'm like, this is definitely metallic. Like I am poisoned by cadmium or something. I don't know.
Bite it and the tooth falls out immediately after.
Yeah.
He gets on half his face is green.
Well, you bite it and you're like you lose your sense of taste for like 3 hours. There's not good chemicals in there.
He's probably what started the Kung Flu, getting all that stuff from Wish.
You ain't hear the opening statements.
I didn't say it.
Hush. So, the Wish, and it is funny you have those. Now, is this a segment or is it just something that you do like the Bill Dance eel? And when you lost the eel that day, I could see the pain. Yeah. I could feel it. And I laughed my ass off because I'm like, he is honestly upset he lost this eel. You just caught a fish on it too, right?
No, that was the thing.
It's the first cast.
I had just tied it on. It was the second cast, and I did an episode, a Bill Dance tribute episode. Yes. I dressed up like Bill Dance, and I bought.
Y'all have to watch it. Y'all have got to watch that shit. It's perfect.
I bought all these. I went on eBay and bought all these Bill Dance lures, and one of them was the Bill Dance's eel. And
with the tail.
It had a tail. It looks like a giant sperm, and it like with a flapping tail on it, and with a big old head. And I tied that thing on. I was like, there's no way this thing's going to catch fish. I wouldn't know because I casted it. And like on the second cast, my line snapped and I could see the eel fly off into the distance. And I was like, there's no other one. There's
just sitting there like this too.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a Bill Dance tribute video without some bloopers in there, and that was totally unscripted and
right. That was a real blooper, and I think there's real more in there.
I did not make that one up.
That episode was awesome. So, all right, back to the segments, or not the segments, the themes, the Wish, and then you'll do like holiday or things like that. Like, is this all of this stuff? It's just something that you don't see a lot of other people doing, but you take it to the next level by going out and using your hard-earned money to buy costumes.
Yeah. there's a huge costume element to my channel. And yes, it's but the thing is, when you see the costumes, you can tell I'm not throwing down high dollars on these costumes, but they get the job done. You know, there's like Santa and I don't know. There's all kinds. Every Christmas I do a Santa one where I do Christmas themed lures. I did a Thanksgiving where I was dressed up like a big turkey, the gobbler, and did a gobbler episode. It's just one of those things. It's just a little something different.
And now he's blowing his nose on camera. Jesus.
What?
Hey, will you send your skunk outfit up to Cody so he can wear it and go canoe fishing?
Yeah, sure.
Do you think he would fit in it?
It doesn't. You probably won't fit in it. No, I mean, I could barely fit into it. There's one of those. I think I got it off Wish.com where it was like, it's a Chinese large, and which is it's like a medium and a half, maybe.
A 2X is a schmedium in Chinese.
Yes. Yeah,
that's another one where like got a skunk in the boat, and the video starts, and this dude's dressed up as a skunk. In the boat.
Well, the whole person, that was what I did for Halloween this year, and I wanted to dress up as the scariest thing to a fisherman, which would be a big old fat skunk.
Hey, have you dressed up as a banana yet?
It's on the agenda. It's on it. Stay tuned. That is coming up. I do have one. I haven't filmed it yet, but I've already bought the banana costume, so y'all are getting the inside scoop on that. But I am going to be I'm going to do it like in my mind, I'm going to do it like a Mythbusters, where it's like Mythbusters, about is it bad luck to have a banana in the boat? And I'm going to fill my boat completely with bananas and fish with only banana themed lures in a banana costume. So
bananas and white lighters. You need white lighters too, Josh.
White lighters. I ain't never heard of that shit before.
White lighters.
Huh. That must be some Yankee stuff.
Every boat I've ever been on, it's been no white lighters.
Huh. I never heard about that. But this leads into something else too, is like the stuff that you think of is like it's just so creative. I mean, how many Miller Lights are you drinking the night before you think of the shit that you're gonna do?
Hey, I don't mess with the creative process. Okay. Whatever happens. I'm not. I literally sometimes I'll be laying at night and I'll wake up and I'll have an idea, and sometimes it's out on the water. I'm like, it'd be really funny if I did this. There's really not a rhyme or reason to it. And I was like, if I think it'll be funny, then I'll do it. And I've got a list of I've got some ones that are really out there that I don't know if the world is ready yet, but I've got some.
I'm ready. Cody, are you ready?
Hey, there's a very fine line between genius and insanity, so let her rip, Josh.
I walk that tightrope every day. So.
What does Bill say about me, Lachwood?
What's he say about you?
Every time I'm on a recording with Bill, one of the first things that he posts afterwards in our Hooks at Hoodlums group chat is Paul is insane. Every time, never fails. He'll start reviewing the videos like Paul is insane. Why does he rewatch them?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh my God!
It's high quality entertainment. That's why.
It is, but he was there. He shouldn't have to watch it.
It's good. I've watched the Hoodlum cast. I've rewatched it a few times because most of the times you're laughing so hard you miss all the little nuances in it, so you got to rewatch it 2 or 3 times.
Cody sit back. He's like, "Where are you bleeding from?" It's not an inside joke. Y'all go watch the Hoodlums Hoodcast or whatever. Hoodlum Cast. I can't even talk right now.
Hoodlum Cast.
Hoodlum Cast. The last one. I had a little blood incident, and Cody has a look of he goes. You hear him talking right now. Well, I'm saying, damn y'all, I'm bleeding, and they're laughing. Blah blah blah. Cody goes just in the middle, and it gets quiet for a second. Goes, where's the blood coming from?
Well, that's because you're like holding down here around your crotch, and you're going, I'm bleeding. I got blood. I couldn't
was
quite
wiping it
figure
on my
out where
shirt.
the blood was coming from.
Well, it's a good thing you wear the tie-dye because at least you can kind of cover it a little bit.
Well, I had a red shirt on. I had my red Blizzard Branch shirt on that day.
Was that
this is why this damn podcast without Alex goes 2 hours. Is right here is because we ain't got nobody to bring us back in line. Damn
Paul,
it, boy.
I've stopped trying to bring you back in line anytime I've had any interaction with you. It's pointless.
Well, no. Look, I just like to have a good time. It's okay. All right. So what are the other little nuances about your channel, Josh, that you put in there because it wasn't something that you saw was happening in other YouTube channels?
Honestly, I don't watch that many YouTube channels. I really don't. And I do that intentionally because it's like I would watch some, and it's, you know, not to knock any particular credit, but like everybody does want to, like, you know, the MTB box opening and trying to do like a slam. You know, there's certain formats that like everybody does, and I was like, I don't want to get in a position where I'm recreating what I've already seen.
Smart.
So,
that's smart, man.
honestly, the only channels that I watch are like my friends. I watch like Hooks at Ryan and Hambone, like all the guys that are in the QC that have their own channel. I watch all those guys and just be supportive of them. They got good content too, so I watch them. But as far as like the other guys, I really don't. I've often thought like it's weird. Like the kayak community is kind of like broken down into two like groups. I've always felt like kind of like an outsider, really. Not that they're not welcoming, but I've always kind of come at it like a little bit differently because there's like one group that is like the real hardcore outdoorsmen. You know, they're the ones that hunt and hike and camp and do all of that stuff. I was like, all these guys are like, oh yeah, we're gonna go up to the mountains and go hiking, and I'm like, I don't want to go up there. I don't even like going upstairs. Like, why would I want to
fish?
This man just said he don't like going upstairs. He ain't going hiking.
I'm not going hiking. I have no desire. And it's like, oh, we're going to go camping in a tent. And I'm like, I make too much money to sleep on the ground. I have a bed. I have any desire to do that. So I don't really fit in with the outdoors crowd. And then there's a second one that's kind of like, and those are the really hardcore, like the tournament anglers, and they like the real competitive, you know, these are the hardcore guys that have, you know, all the nicest equipment and the gear, and they take the tournament seriously. And I mean, I fish in the tournaments, but I certainly don't take them that seriously. I want to do good, but I will never be at that level because I don't enjoy the tournaments enough to like do the work that's required, especially like the QC guys. Those guys are so good. The top 10 in that club can beat anybody in the country as far as I'm concerned, and they put in the work and they're good, and that's what they do. And I don't really fit into that group either. I mean, I enjoy doing it. I like going out and goofing off and, you know, hanging out with those guys, but I would never do the work that's required to be a tournament angler.
So what it sounds like to me, what you're describing of who you are and what your channel is and what it's about, is you are just a regular ass old average person that wants to go fishing.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
It's that simple. And we're going to talk about some of we're going to talk about some of the tournament angling, because that has become a big part of your channel. And then you scared me by almost taking that away, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet, because I'm going to shame the shit out of you for that. Did you just throw up? Oh, what happened?
No, I had to get another one.
Pass out. Oh, okay. Do you have a cooler beside you? Do you have a cooler beside you?
I literally have a cooler beside me.
Let me see it. This is wonderful. Let me see it. Y'all want to see some country ass people? We bring coolers to the podcast. He's got his name on it. Look. This guy's in construction. And we're going to get to this story too, but he's in construction, and all construction people write their names on everything they own.
That's right.
Somebody steals it.
That's right.
You can know it's sure. But you know what? You get your shit stolen every other day and can't ever find it.
Yeah. It walks away. Yeah, it walks away. But in the off chance I ever find my stuff, I want to be able to accuse them of it.
That's right. That's right. Not only do we write our names on it, we also find sly little ways to put some kind of marker or something on it where it's not easily. You see this right here? I put this X underneath the trigger of this Sawzall 6 inches below it, so I know it's mine.
I break off the third slat of every air vent on every power tool I got. So one of the things that you do is you've done it a couple times, I believe, is you'll do these like Walmart lure, the Bill Dance lure challenge thing, but you've done it with Walmart lures too. And I think some of the times that you've done it, wait a minute. How much did you spend in Walmart? What's the name? Ozark Trail. What was that video where you spent like $400 on Ozark Trail?
I want to be clear. I never did a video where it was just Ozark Trail. Ozark Trail those crankbaits are in my regular arsenal, and I love them because they are $2. They are $2, and the way that I lose crankbaits, it's like the idea of buying like some high dollar Rapala, and then like if I bought like a Rapala and $15 and I lost it, I'd never forgive myself. So it's like I buy the cheapest Ozark Trail lures and I use them. In fact, I was this close to winning a tournament at Santee Cooper on Ozark Trail lures. And like that's when I caught back to back like 20 something inchers on a little $2 red Ozark Trail crankbait. And I was like, I was so close to winning that tournament. I was one fish away. But yeah, I literally will go on Walmart because I think you got to like spend like $25 to get free shipping. You better believe I'm going to get the free shipping. So I think I bought like $200 worth of Ozark Trail crankbaits. I have just a giant bin filled with them. So yeah. If they ever want to sponsor somebody, let me know because I have nothing but good things to say about them, and mostly because they're so cost efficient.
I'm a big fan of the beetle spins. You use the beetle spins at all, Josh?
Oh, hell yeah!
No, absolutely. I don't really use like the full size ones. I set them up on my micro light. I got the little teeny ones.
Yeah.
I do enjoy those.
But you've caught some fish on a what we call a rooster tail down here, inline spinner. You've caught some fish on that in your videos too. I've caught
several nice fish on a rooster tail. Yeah,
oh shit, dude! Inline spinner, man. That's like the throw and retrieve of the Ned rigs.
Shit, that Mepps rooster tail, man. Them little Mepps rooster tails are the ticket. Especially early spring.
Well, they don't last well though. If you catch 2 or 3 fish, they'd be bent the shit out of them. They don't work no more.
But they catch shit, but still.
And they ain't cheap though. They ain't cheap either.
Mepps is not cheap. They used to be, but not anymore.
Yeah, but not anymore.
Yeah, I like just the standard old white and gray Warden's rooster tail, and that's one of the lures that I use. Like if I'm taking like somebody out that doesn't fish regularly and they don't really know what they're doing. That is the best beginner lure of all time. Absolutely. That's what everybody grew up fishing, and there's a reason for that because especially if you're taking a kid out and they need practice casting, which you're going to get plenty of. You need practice retrieving. It doesn't take a lot of skill or effort to do it, and then like on top, it always catches fish. May not be the biggest fish, but it always catches fish.
Multi-species at that.
Yeah, brim, bass. Down here, we call them jackfish. I mean, crappie. If catfish, if it's in the damn water, they'll eat it.
Everything.
Speaking of catfish, I'm disappointed in you this year, Josh. I'm pretty sure you ain't going to be up for your catfish award this year.
I was nominated for the Golden Whiskers Award last year, and I decided that this was going to be
2020.
Yeah,
2020.
I was like, this is going to be the year that I take home a Golden Whiskers Award, and I don't know what I lost my catfish mojo. I really have.
Y'all,
I used to always catch at least one accidental catfish every single video, and it was like clockwork. I don't know what it was, but I have not really caught any at all this year, and it's disappointing.
I don't think I caught a cat. I didn't catch a catfish in 2021.
Huh.
And I'm usually good for a couple accidentals myself.
Well, this dude put out like 52 videos a year. I mean, for the year, and caught like 58 catfish.
Yeah. every video I had at least one.
Look, his tournament videos in 2020, he would catch something and he was spinning around like zzz, 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 he get upset. Oh man, this is another catfish. It'd be like a 6, 7, 8 pound catfish every time.
I did that in 2021 with about a 30-pound carp though on a swim jig, and I thought I was in the money. I was yelling and screaming. I thought I had him, and then that sucker showed up. I kept screaming, "I'm in the money! I'm in the money!" And it was a mamma jamma, at least 35 inches, 24, 25 pounds, easy.
Hey, Josh, you've caught a ton of turtles too. But tell us about the big old snapping turtle you caught. Was it on a crankbait, wasn't it?
I don't know. I've lost count. I've caught them on pop bars, whopper ploppers, crankbaits. There's one that I did like it's coming up. It's like a Ned rig, and I got another one. I am Captain Turtle. I mean, I can catch some turtles now.
Look, this is the thing about Josh though. He'll go out. And he might not catch a bass in 3 videos in a row, which ain't true. I mean, he's always catching bass, but he'll have 3, 4 videos in a row where he catches everything but a bass. I mean, and we ain't talking about brim and crappie and those stupid shit. We talking about big ass catfish, turtles. I mean, you ain't caught a bird yet, have you?
No, I caught a bird. The Okeechobee video, I caught a bird.
Oh yeah, when y'all were down there fishing with the guide.
Yeah, we had
a guy's like real.
And that guy, I did a guided fishing trip on Lake Okeechobee. We were shiner fishing, and son of a gun, this bird came out and ate it. I was trying to get away, and caught the bird. And I was like, I'm sure that happens all the time. He's like, no, it's never happened. It's never happened.
Look, Josh's buddy is catching fish left and right. Josh can't get a bite, and then all of a sudden Josh does something, and then you hear the guy he's like, reel. And Josh is just a little behind in the bird.
Hey, it counts. It counts.
It counts, Cody.
Biologically, birds and fish are very closely related, so it counts, Josh.
I was just thinking that I'm sure that there was like some endangered species or something, and the feds will be after me.
It's like the King of the Hill episode where Bobby killed the whooping crane.
Yes.
And Boo Harris like, oh boy, got a little whoop crane, got a good plug, and I went, woo. Oh shit. Man. So we got the Catfish Award. You're not going to win it this year. Probably not going to get nominated because you sucked at catching catfish. So
can't be good at everything.
So you fish with Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing Club entity, whatever you want to call it, which is one of the largest grassroots clubs in the country. Average, like I think this past year, y'all averaged 117 or 120 anglers a tournament. Huge turnouts. What's interesting is no motors. It's manpower, pedal or paddle. Damn, Cody, you all right?
Good.
Deep breaths.
120 people in a tournament. That's a big tournament.
I mean, that's
average.
That's the average.
That's huge.
Average.
Wow.
And it's no motors. And you fish it. They got some damn good anglers. I mean, you'll see a lot of these folks that are in the fish national tournaments. People know them. And y'all fish some badass lakes. I mean, Norman, Hartwell, Santee, Murray, some really awesome places. Lake James, which isn't a great fishing lake from everybody that I've seen fish here, but it's beautiful. So how long have you been in the fishing tournaments?
I started right after I started my channel. So this is all my second year doing tournaments. And so
you just finished your second year.
Yeah, I just finished the second year. The first year was it was just a learning experience. Last year was the year that I was like, you know what? I actually want to try to make some moves last year. And it's one of those things where like the top 20 made TOC, and they had like a playoff spot, like a wild card spot. So top 20, top 25 in order to move on to the next level, which in a club that size, 25 sounds like a lot, but there's just a lot of people that are involved in that. 25. Dude, I finished 26th by like 1 or 2 points. I mean, I was just barely out of it. And
where did you finish the year before though?
I think it was 30, 34, 32. I was in the 30s somewhere.
And when we talk about kayak fishing and content creation, kayak anglers, a lot, I would say a majority, at least the ones I watch, the majority of their content is tournament related. And you do both. You do the fun fishing, the kind of educational side of places to fish and the goofiness and the fun, but then you take the same goofiness and fun and educational where you put in, you do the videos the same, right? And but now it's in a tournament setting where you're fishing from a tournament, but you're also coming at it as a new tournament angler. Yeah. So you are touching a base of people in kayak fishing right now where there's huge number of folks getting into kayak fishing in general. And then we have so many little grassroots tournament angling in the kayak world that they're wanting to get into that, and they can see your progression. So they can see somebody that just got in a kayak and, is in losing nets and shit and doing this and that, and see how you've progressed through that. Because at one point this past year, you almost quit halfway through. Was it like April or May?
It was, I don't remember when it was, but it was Hartwell, which was the absolute worst. That was probably my worst day on the water. Not just my worst tournament. That was my worst day on the water, period. When you say that it's one thing you go out and you don't get bites. This is nothing. I mean, you either figure them out or you don't. This one, I was getting bites the whole time. I just lost every fish imaginable all day long. I've never lost
a counter up.
Yeah, I had a counter. I mean, it was double digits. I lost double-digit fish on that event. And I was just so frustrated. And then I finally landed one, and it jumped off the board. And I didn't even get a photo of it. I mean, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. And I thought I was going to turn it in, but fortunately, like the cheapskate in me, like kicked in. I was like, "Oh, I've already paid my fee for the year. I'm going to stick it out." So I stuck it out. I fished every single.
But you also had some members that reached out to you to help you,
yes.
which is in my local clubs here. In my area of North Carolina, they would do something like that. Who were the folks? You said it was 1 or 2, but who were the folks that reached out to you to help you with that?
It was, the tournament director Vinny reached out and gave me some tips. It was Joey, but it was Chris Goodwin, who was the previous 2-time angler of the year for QC. I mean, just an absolute. Just a stud. That dude's as good as it gets. He took me out like specifically. He's like, "Hey, went over my setup, didn't make sure that I was doing that." Showed me. I hadn't been doing like the fluoro, the braid leader, and he showed me how to do that and the knot to use and how to set it up, and went through all my gear and basically made sure that I was like, "Hey, when you're fishing this technique, this is how you need to do it." And he didn't have to do that, and that was just. That was just. All the encouragement that I needed, as far as, I was like, these guys got my back, and and I don't know if that would happen in other clubs where it's a competitive, when you got serious money on the line. I don't know if that would happen, but yeah, he went out of his way to take me out and show me some things. Again, I'd been out of fishing forever. Back my first go round, all you'd used was mono. That was really, that's all you had. It was just mono. I think spider wire had just come out.
Yeah.
When
did you tie overhand knot, or did you at least tie the old fisherman knot?
Hey, I did a lot of overhand knots. That's with every overhand knot, it increases the strength, I think.
If you can't tie knots, tie lots.
there you go. If you tie a bunch of overhand knots, it's just as strong as anything else.
That's right.
Especially on mono. That is cool because Queen City, with averaging 120 people, you're talking about big money. You're talking like $2,000 a damn tournament.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. Yeah. Last year was guaranteed, I think 1,200. I think this coming year is going to be guaranteed 1,500. I mean, that's the lowest for a first place finish, and it's usually higher just based on the numbers that are out there.
That says a lot about not only the anglers in the club and the folks that you're fishing with and your fishing buddies, but it says a lot about you too, because folks aren't just going to reach out to anybody to do that. You know, I mean, they had a vested interest to see you succeed,
Absolutely.
whatever success is.
Absolutely.
So that says a lot about you too, as what you do as an angler. And you know, I think it's not the YouTube aspect gives us that inside view of who you are as an angler and what let's say what you stand for, right? And so that draws people in on a personal level. And I think that's why your YouTube channel has really grown in this past year, because you're at how many subs are you at now?
I think it's 12, 13, somewhere around there.
Okay. But you had a big jump from like that 600 or 700 mark to that 1,000 was pretty quick this past year, wasn't it?
It comes and goes, but it's actually just been real slow and steady. I mean, it really has. It's just been a slow and steady growth. But as far as like Chris, like reaching out, I mean, I think that's more of a testament to him just being like, he's just a good guy. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say. And when we were out, he was like, listen, he was like, the whole reason I reached out is I just know how much this club has helped me, and it's just a paying it forward situation. Is like, I just know how much enjoyment I've gotten out of this, and to see someone struggle and almost give it up, you know, on account of that, when there's probably just one or two little things we could tweak that would make just a world of difference. And again, he didn't have to do that, and that's all on him. He's, I mean, just a great guy.
That's huge. That's huge, especially to go over points like that, like, you know, different setups for different techniques and stuff like that. Because, you know, to learn that over time, I mean, eventually stuff like that starts to fall into place as you learn the sport. But to have somebody break it down to you so it doesn't have to, you know, have to be learned over time is huge. It's huge.
Well, I mean, and that's another thing. It's like I was expressing my like frustration is, you know, people will tell you that when it comes to tournament fishing, the way you learn is to be in tournaments. Right. But I never really found that to be the case, because I never even saw anybody. You know, it was like I got into tournament fishing when COVID was happening. And so we didn't have live weigh-in. We didn't have weigh-ins. Everything was virtual. And it's like, how am I supposed to get better when I go out, I leave by myself, I fish for 8 hours by myself, I come home by myself, I go attend a virtual weigh-in. I mean, I never even see or talk to anybody. So, I mean, aside from the time on the water, that was really the only benefit I was getting out of it. And, you know, it's speaking to Chris, I mean, he's like, live weigh-ins are where it's at, because that's where you pick everybody else's brain. He's like, you don't talk, you just listen. And I was like, I have no problem listening. You know, I just have to be in a position where I'm there to listen to somebody. And it was just very hard to do, because I mean, the past 2 years have been you know, everything's virtual, so it's hard you're missing out on that whole face-to-face interaction.
Camaraderie.
Yeah, the camaraderie and the BSing that you do at the weigh-ins and stuff. All that was gone, you know, the past 2 years.
In the kayak scene, so this past year was my first year of fishing competitive kayak angling. Now I've fished in some big boat bass clubs, club and some other stuff years ago. And people really didn't share what they were doing, but any kayak tournament, you know, folks they're open about what they were doing in that tournament.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, they share that knowledge.
It's an entirely different atmosphere at all. I mean, it's the kayak community is they're just a group of people unto themselves, as far as their just willingness to help everybody. And it's different. You don't get that. You don't get that in other sports, especially on the, I mean, and not only that, you know, you think about, I don't know if it's a financial thing, but I mean, if you've thrown down the money to buy $60,000 bass boat and you're trying to recoup a little bit of your money, it's a different factor. You know, it's completely different animal when your investment is, you know, you're trying to recoup an investment. And whereas, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can spend as much as you want to on a kayak. I mean, there's all the bells and whistles that you can spend as much or as little as you want to on it. I think it's just a different attitude. It's more of an entry level sport. Whereas,
right.
I've run into like people doing like high school bass boat clubs, and I'm like, why are high schools doing bass boats? Why are these guys not in kayaks? Because you talk about like a barrier to entry. I mean, what high school kid has access to a bass boat? You know, unless it's their parents that have money. You know, they should be doing kayak tournaments and getting these kids involved in that.
Well, I mean, and my thoughts on that, it's exactly kind of what you touched on. You know, it not that it's an entry level, because it kind of is, but also you're not in a $60,000 boat, so you know you don't know too many people who want to get started fishing, or you know want to get started bass fishing, or even fun fishing, that are going to go drop 60, 80 grand on a bass boat. You know, they're going to start out in something, you know, something smaller or whatever. So, you know, it just leaves more of an open community when you're amongst paddlers. Now, I fish out of a canoe, but still,
canoe life.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not fishing with guys that are in $80,000 boats with $100,000 worth of electronics. You know what I mean? So it's more apt to share when you're around other paddlers, because you're just not, you know, you don't feel like that you're some kind of big shot because you're sporting around $100,000 bass boat. You know what I mean?
Well, on the kayak side too, on the grassroots level, you have, you know, you have 100 people show up for a tournament, and let's say you win the tournament, and you know prices differ, so we're going to talk about that for entry level. But you put in for big bass and pay your tournament fee, and you come out there, and let's say you win big bass in that tournament with 100 people. It's not outside of the realm that you win $1,700 to $2,000. I mean, that is probably somewhere in that range, average. And you, at least around here in my area, you ain't winning that kind of damn money winning no bass boat tournament at a grassroots level. And then you let's talk about making the money side of it. You add in fuel, insurance, all the other things that go with that. I mean, I'll take my damn $3,000 Hobie PA out there, and if I win $1,200 on that thing, I won a lot. I won close to $1,200. That bass boat. That bass boat, 100 people. And we're talking about the same. What's the entry fee? Is it $100 and you win 10,000? Okay, I mean, well, it's still $100, but now I'm paying 35 and winning 12. It's just it's the entry level part of it. We can talk about this stuff all day long. I don't want to get off on a tangent too big about that, but it's the aspect that I can take a kayak and I can competitive fish. And take me for instance, would I love to have a $30,000 bass boat? Hell yeah, I'd love it. But first of all, I don't have room. I have nowhere to put it. So then I have to pay to store it. But my kayak sits in my garage. I can throw that thing in my truck and go. I don't have to pay all this stuff on. I have to go take it to get the engine worked on. I don't have to worry if the engine tears up. I got pedals. My leg.
What you hit on it exactly. It's like you have a bass boat and you're like, oh yeah, I'll use it. But then it's like, in order to take the thing out, it's just a hassle. You got to hook it up. You got to make sure all your batteries charged. It got to be cleaned up. You got to be like several days out in order to just hook it out and have a good time. Whereas my kayak sits in the back of the truck. If I happen to get off early one day, I'm going to the water, and it's already there. And there's no overhead. There's no headache. There's no nothing. You just throw it in the back and go. I don't know why. I have no desire to go back to bass boat. I have zero desire. I'm in the kayak for good.
you also had a wonderful experience to make you not want to have another bass boat.
Hey, it was a learning experience. I'll tell you that,
Yeah,
and I learned that is not my cup of tea.
Look at Tally. What's up, girl? I'll tell you what, Bass and Brews is a professional podcast, and this man has blown his nose, picked his teeth, scratched his back, and now he's got his dog over there.
What you don't know?
Just got my fly shooter because it's 28 degrees out, but somehow I got a fly in my house that keeps wanting to land on my face. It always just wants to land on my face, so I'm waiting for him to light somewhere so I can blast his ass.
Look, are you about to shoot a fly off your face with a fucking salt gun on this podcast?
No, but I did. I shot one off my foot over the summer. It didn't feel too good. I have been shot with rock salt before out of a shotgun in my ass when I was a kid because I was stealing watermelons. Felt about the same.
He sound like he from Pageland stealing watermelons.
I don't know. Like he was describing that story, and I'm just imagining like some old lady is like got a fresh pie sitting in the window, and he comes jumping over the fence and then steals the pie and then leaves $1 up there.
Old man George Hopkins, he was notorious for shooting people with rock salt, stealing watermelons from his watermelons patch.
So, how many speeding tickets did you get in McBee, South Carolina, Josh?
Huh?
How many?
I am a conscious driver. I am so conscientious. I have gotten, of course, I've now jinxed myself. I've gotten 0 in McBee.
So Josh is getting a speeding ticket and a seatbelt ticket tomorrow morning headed to work.
I jinxed myself, but yeah, no. I've avoided that speed trap, and I mean, it's coming. It's coming. So I was like, I'll go 5 under. I don't care.
He is a law-abiding citizen.
Abide. That's where he got the name.
Abide. The dude abides.
What's next for Abide Fishing on YouTube?
I think I'm just going to stay the course, really. I mean, I think I got a good thing going on. I've got lots of, I plan on hitting a bunch of new spots that I have not been able to go to. I'm kind of waiting until springtime to hit those. Basically, my goal is I have every public launch within an hour and a half of my house, like in my phone. I just got a list, and I'm just checking them off. So I'm going to check them all off, and then when I get them all done, I'll start at the top again. But like long term, I don't know what I really want to do with the channel, other than like it would be nice to like get to the point where I have enough of a base where I can at least get the hobby to pay for my hobby. And that's kind of really what it is. It's not really to make money at it, but it's more like I've often thought, like, if somebody has a guide service, and I get enough subscribers or get enough, people involved in my channel where I could reach out to them. Hey, take me out on a day that you don't have anybody booked. I'll take you out, and you basically have a 30-minute commercial, and that's, you get your advertisement, I get a free trip out of it. If I can use the channel to subsidize my hobby, that would be ideal. That's what I would.
I'll trade you a trip for a 30-minute commercial this year. Come down and fish with me.
Let's go.
Or up to Maryland, I should say.
Maryland, that's fine. I'm a government employee. I got plenty of vacation time. Okay.
Come on up, buddy.
Josh, go check out Lachwood Fishing on Instagram and look at some of the damn fish he be catching. Like it's legit. You going up there, you gonna catch what's your biggest bass?
729.
Cody, could you break that?
I'll get you close to it. I'll get you close to it. My biggest fish last year, of course, I don't weigh them too much, but it was 24 inches in a small piece. So, I mean, that's putting you in the high 6, low 7 range for sure. Yeah.
But he's also catching handfuls of those fish in one trip. Like, he ain't catching one every now and again. He's catching 5, 6 of those in a trip.
All right, well, let's do it. I've got several 3-day weekends coming up. So
whenever you want, man, just touch base with me, Josh, and whenever you want to come. I fish by the moon, so I like to do it on a good moon phase. So, you give me some dates, I'll check the moon phase and be like, this is when it's going to be the best. Come on up and come do it, man. It's a blast. I got a beautiful spot to fish. One of the prettier spots on the East Coast, actually.
That sounds good, man. I need to get you guys to teach me how to do, like, you guys are like so good at like the Instagram stuff. That's like another thing that I suck at and I hate it. I love the YouTube. YouTube is kind of like my baby, but like all the other ones, I don't understand Instagram. I don't understand Twitter. I've got all of these things and I have no idea what they are or how to use them.
So TikTok and Instagram, let's take those. The easiest thing for you to do.
Hey, fellas, I gotta let my dog out 1 second. Oh,
go ahead. Shit, this motherfucker. So Instagram and TikTok, you already do the content. You already have the video content to create reels or TikTok videos. So all you have to do is just take that 15-minute video that you put out on YouTube and take a 15 to 30-second clip off of it and put it into one of those platforms, and that's it. Post it. That's it. You've already got the content. I mean, just start posting. I mean, it's the same thing you did with YouTube. Just start putting shit out there. And once you kind of get the feel of it, then you can start dialing in hashtags and there's all this other shit that you can do. But literally, you have the hardest part of all of the social media is the content. You've got the content. Now all you need to do is take 15, 30, I think you can get up to a minute on some stuff, cut it, and put that shit on Instagram or TikTok and put some music to it. I mean, you're already doing it long form. Now you're just doing it in a quick little section. It's literally, you want to know how to just do it. That's what you just do. Now, once you kind of get which platform you want and which one you want to grow, then you can dive into the specifics of those two. But they're integrated in with each other too. So a lot of people now, they do their stuff through TikTok and they automatically upload it to Instagram, like Instagram Reel. But it's that simple, or it's as simple as taking a picture and then posting it on Instagram. I mean, you already have the hardest part done. You've already done the editing. You have the content. You know where it is. All you got to do is now 15, 30-second, 1-minute clips, whatever it is. Take it, put it on the platform, and post it. That damn simple.
Yeah. I think you simplified it a lot, but I'll just give you a heads up. I'm going to be hitting you up just so you can get me more involved on those other platforms, because there's a lot of people on those platforms but that's another thing is like, I just don't know what to use it for, I guess is my thing. It's like, I often feel like if I have a YouTube video that I'm proud of and I chop it up into little segments, it's like, I feel like I'm cheating the Instagram because it's a lesser version of what I'm already proud of.
No, man. No, taking long form and chopping it up and putting it out there drives people to the YouTube, because if people are interested, they want to go see the long form. They want to see what else is in there. So that's it. I'll talk to you about damn Instagram and this shit all day, but I'm not an expert. I'll tell you what I know, and then I can get you in touch with people that know a lot more than I do. But yeah, I mean, it's, to me, like, I mean, look at some of the stupid. I gained the most followers this past year when I started taking a selfie video of me holding up a fish and naming that sumbitch Josh. Hey, y'all, look here. Now I caught Josh. Josh, go be free. I throw the fish back and it swims off. Like, those reels probably averaged, this isn't a lot, right? This isn't a lot. But for me, it was 1,300 views.
Holy crap.
I mean, it's you stupid shit like that. And it kind of comes from what you did with your YouTube. I was like, what? I watch all these YouTube reels. I mean, these Instagram reels and YouTube shorts. Like, what is nobody doing? And just popped in my head. Well, nobody's naming their fish before they throw them back. And so that's what I did. And that's what generated a lot for me, especially when I was catching a lot of fish. I'd go fishing. I'd catch 5 or 6 fish. And if I did that twice a week, well, damn, that's 10 reels. That's 10 or 12 pieces of content. And so creating content is, you have to be, and I've talked about this with other people on this before, is the successful people say you got to be consistent. Now, you can't be consistent posting once a month or once every 2 months, but at least once every 2 weeks, depending on what you're putting out there. But when it comes to TikTok and Instagram, they're playing to our attention span equals nothing. And so that's why the swiping, right? So that's why the 15-second video.
Like me on Tinder.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh my God, Cody. I want you to hear this story. Josh, y'all, we going, all right. We're gonna take a timeout right here. We ain't going nowhere. We're just gonna we're gonna run out in the right field. Y'all know how y'all put all the kids that can't pay attention in right field when you play like T-ball Little League? We going to right field, y'all. Josh, tell Cody and our listeners about the Tinder story of the one you met whose daughter snuck out on y'all.
I was wondering, you prefaced it by the story of the Tinder story. I've got several of them, but I'll tell you the one about the, yeah, okay.
Well, tell us your favorite. Tell us your favorite one.
I know this one is probably the most family friendly of all of them.
Whoa. This ain't a friendly like you get, this is 21 and above. You tell whichever one you want.
Okay. I know this one is not, I mean, I'm gonna tell the one with the daughter story. So you're aware of this one, but all right. So
Cody, listen, ears on.
I'm listening.
Of course, nothing good ever comes from Tinder, and that's where this story starts. So I was on Tinder, matched up with this woman, and anyways, we decided to go on a date, and she relays to me that I was like, where do you want to meet? Let's go to this place. She's like, I don't really know where this place is. Actually, this is going to sound really weird. However, I am in the process of moving from Alabama to Charlotte, Rock Hill area. And I would actually like to stay somewhere close to where I'm staying at the hotel. I haven't found a place yet. I'm staying at a hotel until I find a place. I said, okay, well, this is weird. As I tell the story, just think of the number of red flags that are coming up because there's several.
That would have been red flag number 1.
Well, there's several involved.
Just Cody,
sound like an in call to me.
Listen, it's not what you think. It's better than what you could ever imagine, Cody.
I give her several options of different bars and restaurants around the hotel where she's staying, and she tells me, well, I actually prefer to just have a drink and a meal at the hotel bar. And I said, yeah, okay, all right, we can do that. So we decided to meet at the hotel bar.
At this point in time, hold on, stop. At this point in time, we're like, man, this is going to be expensive. And I'm not even leaving our hotel room.
Well, I thought it was going to be good. I mean, I was actually going to, that's a small price to pay. So I was like, all right, so let's go. She's like, well, I just want you to know that my daughter is staying with me and I have a babysitter lined up and the babysitter is going to be there at 7:30. So we'll meet at 8. Like,
oh, Lord.
So I show up at the bar. She shows up and then tells me that I'm so glad that we decided to meet here. And I was like, well, why is that? And she goes, well, my babysitter canceled. I said, okay. She's like, well, the kid's still upstairs. And I was like, well, we need to sit here so I can keep an eye on the elevator so that she doesn't escape. And I'm like, what? You just left a child unattended, up in the room by herself? And then she tells me, oh, no. It's not what you think. And I was like, what do you mean it's not what you think? Well, my daughter is actually a 20-year-old woman who is addicted to drugs, and she's currently detoxing in the room, but I have to keep an eye on it because she's escaped and gone on a bender before.
Hold on. How many staircases does this daughter run out of? Is she worried about the elevator?
She was worried about the elevator.
Sound like a good opportunity for a 2-for-1, if you ask me.
It gets weirder.
Cody, Cody, the babysitter canceled on her 20-year-old daughter. Not 20.
So we sit there, and so anyways, I'm
Why
like,
did you not? Why were you like, this ain't a good idea?
I knew it wasn't a good idea.
The babysitter didn't cancel. She showed up and saw a full adult in the corner going through sweats and detox and was like, no, not for me. Thank you so much.
Well, again, I knew it was bad, but another problem is this woman was a talker. Like, so she sat down and proceeded to talk. Like, I couldn't get a word in. So she talked and talked and talked and talked. Ordered a meal, talk. And the whole time I'm trying to figure out a way out of here because I'm like, this is not good. But she goes on to tell me that she that she spent all of last year, she had contracted COVID, had a stroke, and had to relearn how to walk and talk for a year. And then she had some kind of, I don't know, some kind of ailment, and she was going through all of these surgeries. So I really think I was like dating on a date with like 2/3 of a person, because doesn't sound like there was a whole lot left, like after all these surgeries and the things that they were removed. I'm sitting there still trying to get out of this. And
Gets better, Cody.
Then next thing you know,
You're way more polite than I am, Josh.
This young woman comes up, sits down at the table. Like, I put together that it is the daughter, the detoxing daughter. They proceed to get into a fight, like an argument, and then they tell me that like she's arguing that she needs to take her car to her boyfriend's house because he's got to work in the morning and this, that, and the other, and she'll be back in 45 minutes. So the mom agrees to let the daughter leave. So the daughter leaves. So then while all this is going on, the girl that I'm on the date with, the woman I'm on the date with, she tells me that, that she doesn't have that her credit card was stolen, probably by the daughter, because and that she had another credit card that was being sent to her, but because she had a hotel, that didn't have a good address, but it was being sent to a friend. And so she had called the friend to have the debit card like brought to her. So I'm still sitting there trying to get out of this date. At this point, this weirdo Quasimodo looking guy, he had like a hunchback, and he comes waddling over. He waddles over, sits down. Apparently it's the friend that has the debit card. I'm on a first date. He orders a chicken sandwich. He's eating a chicken sandwich. And I'm like, who is this guy? Why is this guy here on my date? He's all Quasimodo'd up with his hump.
He was the pimp.
I don't know. And so anyway, he orders a chicken sandwich. He eats the whole sandwich while we're there. I flag down the waiter. I end up grabbing the bill. I paid for Quasimodo's chicken sandwich.
Yes, you did.
And I was like, so the guy left. And so I was like,
yes, you did. Did you end up paying for the hotel room at the end of the night?
Let me tell you, I was like, I got to get out of here. So that's good. So I was like, so I stand up. And I'm like, all right, I'm just get out of here. So I start leaving, and then the girl.
Cody gets better.
The girl's phone goes off. She had set an alarm to go off 45 minutes. So of course the daughter wasn't back at that time. We walk out. She follows me out to the front of the hotel. At this point, she's like, what is that? Apparently the car was still like parked like in the front seat. She never even took the car to the boyfriend. And she starts just proceeds to lose it. And I was like, as understanding as I could have been, I was like, well, your daughter's not a criminal genius, because I would at least move the car out of the way, because you're at the front door. So she's like, I don't know if I can go through this and this, that, and the other. She just starts bawling and just starts hugging on me and stuff. And I'm like, there. And I was like, and then she proceeds to tell me, she's like, I know this is not the way I wanted our first date to go. And I was like, oh, no crap. This is not a good date. She's like, I just want you to know I really liked you. We should do this again. I was like, lady, you got so much shit going on.
No, we shouldn't.
Good luck with it. And I think I ended the date with good luck with all that. And then I walked away.
Hey, did you check your pockets after she hugged you?
Oh, let me tell you. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's really.
Quasimodo was definitely the pimp.
They're like, this is the greatest Tinder date ever. He actually paid for our food this time.
Yes. Hey,
yes, you did.
I'm a
You're
gentleman.
lucky that's what you got. That's all you got off with.
Southern hospitality is what.
How long was this? The story took like less than 10 minutes, but how long was this date?
We met at 8, and I probably left almost 10:30, 11. But that
my God.
It wasn't voluntarily. I was trying to leave literally the entire time.
Oh my God. This shit, baby.
Every time I thought I had it out, like some other crazy character would come into the picture.
What was the other long Tinder story that you posted about?
That was the one where
Callie.
that was that's too long of a story. But like I
Cliff notes.
I showed up. I mean, the woman showed up several minutes late. I mean, not several minutes, like almost an hour late. While I'm there, I'm waiting for her to show up, and I'm nervous drinking at the bar. And then next thing I know, like I kind of like lock eyes with the bartender that's there, and come to find out, I had also messaged her on Tinder, but at a different time. And so now I'm there semi-drunk by myself, looking like a creeper, like
The old double of it.
and then I about leave, and then my date shows up, and like that's when I realized like how deceitful like internet dating profiles could be, because
yeah, buddy.
On the internet profiles, you look like very like punk rock, like, you know, Miami Ink, that type of thing. But she showed up in like real life, it was more like, my name is Earl, like white trash. I mean, it was not good. It was not what I was expecting. And then she shows up and was like, "Oh, Josh," and gives me a hug. And I was like, well, if I didn't know any better, I'd think this chick was drunk. Suspicion confirmed when she's like, "We got to go get a drink." Throws her purse up on the bar, and like mini bottles go rolling out all over. She's like scooping up the mini bottles.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
How long did you drag that date out for?
Well, this one I knew was going to be a train wreck, and I stayed for the train wreck. And so I'll give you a little bit more of this story. So she's like, "Oh, let's go grab a seat." So we go sit down at the sofa, and then doesn't apparently never disclose that not only was she like a smoker, she was a chain smoker. So she starts like getting all like amorous with me, but it was like in between puffs of the cigarette. So she started like nibbling on my ear. So it would be like nibble, nibble, nibble. Nibble, nibble, but it was in between puffs of the cigarette. I was like, "This is disgusting." She's like, smokes like a chimney over here. It's just like my ear.
So hold up. She was a female Lachwood.
Did you seal the deal? That's the question.
Yes,
he left. He left in time.
Yes. For the sake of this story, I'm going to cut it right there. But there's more stuff to this. But it's welcome to my life and dating in 2020. I mean, it's pretty.
Right. Luckily, the pitcher struck out all three batters, and the right fielder didn't have to do anything because this shit. Look, that first story, I read that shit so many. I saved that post and turned on notifications just to see all your people on Facebook be like, "What is wrong with you? Why did you?"
I've never, the female species is a mystery to me. I don't.
Hey, Josh,
oh
one website that you need, skipthegames.com. No more Tinder.
Is that a real one, or is that like a adult site?
No, Skip the Games. Look it up when we're done here tonight.
All right. I'll check.
All right. So we're at an hour and a half. I said I was going to keep this shit at an hour and a half. We're going to be a few minutes late. So we're going to get into, Josh, this is the shotgun round of Bass and Brews. Besides the opening statements, this is the only thing that is scripted. These questions are super important. I ask you a question, you answer it. There's no thinking. There's no saying some answer that ain't an answer. I ask a question, you answer it. You got it?
Got it.
Crocs or flip-flops?
Flip-flops.
And if you answer this question, any of these questions wrong, so I'm going to berate the shit out of you. Flip-flops suck because when you step in water fishing in flip-flops, they get all slimy and slippery. They just don't work.
I thought this was open-ended. You're getting all aggressive with me, Paul.
No, I'm just saying that answer is wrong. Have you seen my Croc videos?
I have not. No.
Oh my God! See, I fish in Crocs, no socks year round. Last year, 18 degrees at a tournament. I'm out there in Crocs and no socks.
But then you also have the whole problem with it leaves the weird suntan on you. It looks like you've got like a leprosy thing going on.
What asshole wears his Crocs when you could get a sunburn? You take them off. The only reason you wear them is you wear them at the ramp so you don't step on a hook.
Well, that doesn't work. That doesn't work on I have a native Slayer, and the pedals have those little metal things on it.
See, if you had a Hobie, they would be nice, gentle pedals that wouldn't hurt your little gentle feet. Look, you're also talking to Cody Lachwood and Paul Roberts, and both of us probably wear shoes a third of the times that we're not wearing shoes.
Yeah, shoes are pretty much optional.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
The biggest part of my life.
I would prefer not wearing the shoes while I'm fishing. However, the native, it has the pedals have those metal things on them, those metal cleats. That doesn't.
Josh, I cut grass. Well, I don't cut grass anymore because where I live, I can't cut my own grass. But before I did, I cut grass barefoot with a push mower, and I weed eated barefoot. Matter of fact, I go barefoot enough. I've gone to my local bar numerous times and got out the truck and been like, "Fuck, I ain't got no shoes on." Guess what I did? I still went.
I like the stinging sensation on your bare feet when you're weed whacking.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's weed eating down here in the South. Anyway, see, we already messing this shit up. I accept your answer. I don't agree with it. Try Crocs.
I'll give him a shot, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily going for the big fashion statement, but I don't know.
But there ain't nothing fashionable about no Crocs. Do you wear the spandex like all your Queen City boys fishing?
No. I don't do that either. I don't do. It would be Ball City.
What? All right. Maybe we'll add that one in. Spandex pants or no?
Yeah, no.
Spandex or no decks. All right, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Oh no.
Good
Absolutely
answer.
Not. Absolutely not. No fruit at all. No fruit at all on pizza.
There you go. Lachwood, I can't remember I can't remember what you said. I wasn't part of the host then, but
cheese, buddy.
Yep. All right.
I'm a purist. Cheese pizza.
So, you gonna spend more on a rod or a reel, Josh?
I don't spend much on either one, but rod probably. That's literally the only. I have a St. Croix A-rig rod, and that's the only expensive rod that I have. But then I have a Black Max reel on it. So
nothing wrong with the Black Max, buddy. They're workhorses.
Nope.
They're workhorses.
In a 3-hour session, you want to catch 5 2-pounders or 1 7-pounder?
7.
My man.
Man. Quality over quantity.
There
Amen.
we go.
Jigs over rubber worms.
Wacky rig or Texas rig?
Wacky.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's wacky only because that's like I don't like fishing docks, and that's the only thing that I can manage to fish docks with. I hate fishing docks, but I can slip that thing up under a dock and almost make it enjoyable.
Well, when you go to Norman, you have to fish docks.
You have to.
Because there's 85, 30 million.
Yeah, I mean, there is no place where you cannot fish docks. You have to.
None of the lakes that I live on, Harris Falls or Jordan, no docks.
I have yet to fish a Wacky rig.
Well, thank God, because you would probably ruin it by being so handsome. Hey, so on that, Josh, are you going to come over here and fish Jordan when QC comes this way?
Are they going to Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay.
By they, you.
Possibly, yeah.
Dude, it's 2.5 hours. If you don't bring your ass over here to Jordan, I'm going to drive down there to where you are. I'm going to find out where you live, and I'm going to throw eggs at your house. I'm going to pee on your tires. I'm going to rub grease on the inside of your handles. I'm going to find your kayak. I'm not going to do anything bad to it, but I'm going to put Hobie stickers on it.
Oh, man. I'd rather you just egg my house.
Well, all that's going to happen.
Yeah. All right.
Slow jams or hype music?
Slow jams.
Excuse me.
What was that?
Jesus. This man has flatulated every way he could except for a poop.
Have you
on this podcast?
Have you no couth?
Josh, are you eating largemouth bass? Yes or no?
No.
What the hell is wrong with you? Are you serious?
Nope.
Why?
You see, Paul, not everybody from the South eats them.
Well, it's not just I don't eat anything that I catch, only because it's like it's too much work. By the time you
what if I caught a mess of largemouth, filleted them out, fried them, and all you had to do was eat them?
I'd eat them.
Okay, so you eating largemouth?
Yeah, I would. Yes, it's not that I'm opposed to it. I would. I just don't like the hassle. I was like, they got
why do people make this question so hard? Do you eat fucking largemouth or not? Yes or no? Oh no, I ain't gonna catch them and clean them. That ain't the answer. That ain't the question.
I think it's a misleading question, because that's what I'm thinking is like, you never go to a restaurant and see largemouth bass on the menu. So what else would you eat them unless you're cleaning them yourself?
That's true. That's true. You don't see largemouth. You don't see no brim either.
Yeah, it's true. I don't eat brim either.
All right. This is what we're known for. This is what Bass and Brews does. We ask the hard questions. Give me you know, as anglers, we love sandwiches.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are your top 3 sandwich meats?
I'm trying not to think too much on this. I'm just going to go with my gut, because I don't know if this would qualify, but a barbecue sandwich, like
don't fuck it up. That's all I got to say. Don't fuck it up.
Barbecue sandwich.
Okay.
Like a Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
I mean, that's not. I don't know if that's a sandwich or a hoagie. That's what I'm saying. It's like
it's a sandwich. It's a sandwich.
I think they're both sandwiches.
It's a sandwich.
So we got pulled pork, we got steak, and
I would probably go with like a good club with like a turkey and ham for my cold.
Okay, so that's 4. That's 4, but that's okay. You did good. You got barbecue, which I think we've only had once before. We haven't got the steak sandwich before, so that's a shaved steak. That's a good one there. I might go make one of those tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I got my 2 hot sandwiches and then my cold sandwich.
Do you eat any food when you're out fishing during the day?
I don't.
You've never been eat. I think you've had a snack or once or twice when you've been out there, but
I don't. I basically just take a giant coffee or 2, and that's all I use all day.
Oh shit! We're about to forget the most important thing of the night. So y'all, I know we just finished a podcast, so this is bonus material. So Josh posted one of his wacky videos of him losing his work jacket in the wintertime. And he shows the jacket, he loses it. He's going through the video. You can find the video. I can't remember when it was. I think it was the winter of 2020, right?
I don't remember when it was, but I remember it was Lake Norman. I don't remember.
Yeah, so it's winter 2020 or early 2021, somewhere in there. So he shows the jacket floating off, and then there's this dialogue of what happens to the jacket. So Josh, tell us about you losing. Cody, did you like the story, his Tinder story?
I did.
This right here is going to make you punch holes in your wall. So Josh, tell us about you losing your favorite jacket.
All right, so this was my work jacket, and I mean, it's not necessarily the most stylish of jackets. It's like that high vis.
It's a big ass yellow jacket.
It's a big ass yellow jacket, but it's super warm, and so like I would use it at work and I would use it at home as well. And so, anyways, I was out fishing in my normal clumsiness. Like I was out fishing. Apparently, at some point, it fell off the back. I never see it. And of course, I fished the entire day. I get back. I realized I don't have my jacket. Don't know where it is. I had to like review the tape and like go through and find that like my yellow jacket had fallen out. And sure enough, you can see it like disappear into the distance. Thought it was gone. Thought it was gone.
Like Wilson. It's like Wilson.
It's
like Wilson. It is. Except he didn't know Wilson was floating away.
Yes. So he disappeared off into the sunset. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, all right, I lost my jacket. It is what it is. So the fish that I caught that day, I also have like a Fish Brain account. So I just happened to post like the fish that I caught on Fish Brain. And then just as a joke, I put down at the bottom, oh, by the way, if anybody sees a high vis jacket floating out in Lake Norman, let me know it's mine. Just as a joke. What do you know? I have a guy message me, hey, I have your jacket. I was like, well, you've got to be kidding. What are the odds? And so I responded and I was like, dude, you don't understand how much this means to me. I was like, let me know when and where I can come get it. I'll get you a lunch or something. And he then responds, says, it's going to cost a lot more than lunch. And I said, excuse me? And he goes, yeah. Jacket's way more expensive than lunch, bub. And I was like, what? Are you legitimately like holding my jacket ransom now? I was like, because if that's the case, I don't negotiate with terrorists. You can keep the jacket. I don't care. And sure enough, yeah, he ended up taking my jacket, which it was clearly mine. Not only was it mine, and like I had it, how many high-vis jackets are floating out there? It actually had my name badge on it with my name and my picture.
Oh, dude.
It probably had your initials written on the tag in
Sharpie. Yes.
So, Josh, this is what I want to do right now today because
you should have agreed to a price and then man up with him, Josh, and then punched him in his dumbass fucking face.
I was not thinking that far ahead, but that was a good play. The beauty of that plan is its simplicity.
Thank you.
So, Josh, today on Bass and Brews, you kept this man's name secret. We want to know who this is so we can get your jacket back.
I don't remember the guy's name because it's an alias on Fish Brain, and I honestly don't remember what the name was.
Look, we have to find it because let me tell you, aliases on social media are easily findable by smart people, and we got some geniuses that listen to this podcast. We want your jacket back. We need a name.
I will have to get it to you offline. I don't have it
available. High vis.
I don't remember the guy's name, but I will.
That's fine.
I will find it and give it to you. That's another thing. I also don't want to give him any kudos on this on the professional broadcast here.
But this shit he ain't getting no fucking kudos. He's about to get harassed.
Okay.
And if y'all ever watched the old Sleepy Hollow with Jeff Goldblum back in the 80s, he says Jeff Goldblum asked about somebody getting assaulted. He said he got assaulted, and the old boy looked at him and said, he got assaulted. a peppered and a whooped or something like that. I can't remember. Look, we want to get you a jacket back here. You let us know. We'll get our sleuth up on the sleuth trail, and we're going to get your jacket back. If he don't want to give it back, then he's going to buy you lunch.
Hey, my appearance on this podcast makes it all worth it. If we can get this jacket back.
All right. We're going to wrap this up, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Josh, do you have anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors or anybody that you work with or anything like that? And tell us where we can find you on social media.
Just come check me out, Abide Fishing. I'm on all the social medias, even though I don't really know how to use anything other than YouTube. Just Google Abide Fishing. It's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and whatever the other one is. I guess Twitter. But
ain't no fishing people using Twitter. So
me either. I don't know how to use that either. So, but yeah, just find me on any of the social media. I also, shoot me a message or a comment on the YouTube channel. I do my best. I think I've responded to every comment, so I'm pretty active on that. So if you want to get in touch with me, just reach out, and that's where you do it.
You got my R. Kelly comment today.
I did.
Lachwood, you want to shout out anybody out, brother?
Hookset Hoodlums, Cast Crew, System G, Bait Ops, Old Glory, Liquid Coastal, who else? Flirt Skirt, Beast Coast, the norm, all the normal guys.
All right. So, look, y'all, check out Hookset Hoodlums, great fishing apparel. They just dropped some new toboggans. I don't give a fuck. I'm in South Carolina, North Carolina. We call them toboggans. A beanie fit. Anyway, go look at the new Hookset Hoodlum toboggans. They got it looks like a leather patch. Good looking stuff. I got my pond wrecker hat on. Josh, you need some Hookset Hoodlum gear, dude.
Yeah, I know. That's a nice hat.
Bo, you're a certified pond wrecker.
Yes, he does.
I like
so
that.
check out
Jigsy
Hookset
Big's
Hoodlums.
new episode out today too.
Damn it! Let me finish, Cody. Don't steal my thunder. Cow. Anyway, Hookset Hoodlums, check it out. Use code HEELS HEELS 10 for 10% discount. Also, Alex and I have some merch. Bass and Brews. Alex got some swamp rat fishing stuff on there. Check that out. All the links, if you go to my Instagram account, they're in my link tree. You can check it out. Go there. Thank you. We appreciate it. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Josh, thank you so much for coming on, dude. This is a good time, man.
Josh, nice meeting you, brother.
Yeah, I had fun, man. Anytime.
All right.
Look me up, man. If you want to make a trip up to Maryland this spring, summer, look me up. Hit me up, buddy. You'll have a blast.
All right. Y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to close this out, and then we'll holler here in a second, all right?
All right, now.
We'll see you.